back at PilatesJ. It's Julie presenting to you the third of the series of the Hanna Somatics moves. So what I'm going to do is just repeat the last move from series 2, and that's going to lead us into series 3. So we're working with our legs, and then we're going to do a beautiful shoulder release at the finish of what we're doing with our legs. Okay, so we're going to lie back on our back, and the last move that we did was with our legs out wide. We're just going to do a couple more of those just to show how this one precedes the next move we're doing. So we're going to bring the soles of our feet together and allow this opening through the hips. Beautiful. And then we're spiraling the legs back open. And in we come again. Soles of the feet come together. Feel the softening here. Sense and feel this softening. Then we've got a motor pattern to take the legs back out. We'll do one more of those. Soles, relax, and back out. And then from series 2, you may remember that we brought our knees together and we came up onto our big toes. So up onto our big toes, bring the knees together, keep the feet apart, and in we come. And there's a beautiful spiraling of all the bones of our legs. So in we come again, heels lift, up on our big toes, knees in, and release. Last one. In with the knees, up onto the big toes, lift through the heels, and release. Beautiful. Now we're bringing our heels together, bringing our legs together, and we're working with an externally rotating leg for the first move, and then an internally rotating leg for the second move. So I'm going to show you how the legs go without adding in the move through the head, but we'll add that in next. So first of all, for the legs, we've got our femur bone externally rotating. So the sole of our foot is coming up the inside of our leg, just like that, with that knee turned out. Then we're going to lift the foot up, place it on top of our shin, just under our knee, and let that slide down our shin. Beautiful. So let's do that again. Slide the sole of the foot up the inside leg, lift the foot and slide down. Beautiful. Let's do the other leg that way. Slide the foot up, lift the foot and slide the leg down. Another one. Up we come. Lift, slide and down. For the internally rotating leg, we're going to be thinking about the knee coming in, not going out. This femur bone is going to roll inside the hip socket, and we're going to come up on our big toe like we did with the previous move, with our heel lifting off the floor. So think about your knee falling in, you're coming up on your big toe, your heel is lifted, and you can allow this hip to lift up as well. And then with just staying with your big toe on the floor, we're going to unspiral that back down. Beautiful. So that move again is a spiraling inwards. Big toe, knee comes in, heel lifts, spiral inwards, and back down. Let's do the other leg. So we've got the big toe coming to the floor, the knee falling in, the heel lifting, the hip lifting a little, spiraling in and down. And you might feel this all the way through to your feet. So there's an unraveling that's going on. Lift up and down. Beautiful. So once you've got sorted out for yourself what your legs are doing, then we start to add in a turn of the head, which takes the spiral right throughout our whole body, from toes right through to the crown of our head. And what we want to think about is that we're going to make an attempt to be looking at the sole of our feet. We may not see the sole of our feet, but that's the way our head is turning. So, for the very first move, when this sole of the foot came up, to see the sole of the foot, we need to turn our head as if we want to see the sole of our foot this way. And back down. And so again. And that time I didn't lift the foot up. So we want to lift the foot up. That's what we're doing. And running it down our shin. Beautiful. And let's go to the other side. So now we're going to be looking, because the sole of the foot's going to be here, and we're going to be looking around to the sole of our foot. So here we go. We turn the head the other way. Lift. And down. And you might begin to really be aware that this movement is bringing a release through your neck and through your whole body. Beautiful. So that's adding in the head when we externally rotate. Now when we internally rotate and come up with the knee in, the sole of our foot is facing that way. So if you think about that's the sole of my foot facing the wall, I'm going to turn my head that way again, as if I want to look at the sole of the foot and come back through. Lovely. And again, lift the big toe, lift the heel, let the knee fall in and look. So that is the move. The first one we did was just learning how the legs go. When we put the legs and the head together, we have the whole move. So here we go, looking that way. There's a beautiful spiralling and unravelling. And back down. And up this way. Beautiful. Okay, so now we want to be able to release. In our culture, we often shorten, our shoulders roll forward, we often shorten through our pecs here. So this next Hanna Somatics move is going to really allow a release through the front of the shoulder. And then we're going to sit up and find a release for the muscles at the back between the shoulders. Okay, so we can bring our feet up into constructive rest and just lift your tail and allow your body to just find its ease in this position on the mat. Beautiful. Now we're back to thinking about that motor pattern and sensory release. So what we're going to do is form a fist with our hands, and we're going to bring ourselves to exaggerate this closed-in shoulder. So that's our motor pattern, to really exaggerate that. So we're going to turn the back of our hands to rest against the outside of our thighs, and we're going to really scrunch in to the extent that isn't causing you too much pain and drama, but we're going to really exaggerate that motor pattern. And now we're going to sense and feel and allow our arms, hands, fingers, shoulders to find their own way back to the floor, slowly and softly, as if gravity has slowed down, but it's drawing you back towards the floor. And then really notice which part of you is landing, which part lands last. And so we're just going to unravel all the way there. And then when we finally arrive, take a breath and just indulge in that landing. Let everything soften and melt into the floor. And it's quite incredible after 3 of these done really well, done slowly with the sensing and the feeling, how much your shoulders will let go. So we're going to do that again. Scrunch back up. Feel that motor brain working. Now we want to bust out of that part of our brain and allow the sensory brain to have its turn. Remember, Thomas Hanna calls it sensory motor amnesia. So we're allowing our sensing brain to have a chance to remember how our shoulders once were and allow them to release and go back there. So doing this, we can really focus as we lie down on the mat and do it in this way. But know that you can do this for your shoulders any time of the day when you're standing and just noticing. So there's your motor brain again. Softly release. So we can allow this to happen in a standing position. We might notice that our shoulders have become tense, and we can just do that standing, tighten into them and allow this softening release to take place. And after 3 of those, you might really notice there's a lengthening and a softening here. Beautiful. So now we're going to work from the other side of the body. So I'm going to sit up and roll onto my side and allow myself to come to a seated position now. And we're going to be working between the rhomboids here. So the back of our hand comes against our low back. And what we're going to do for our motor pattern here is to draw the shoulder blades together, draw the elbows towards each other, feel the tenseness of that, the motor pattern of that, and then softly release. Now it might be uncomfortable for you to sit in this way through your hips, so you could sit yourself up on a rolled up blanket or some books, something that makes your seated position comfortable so that you can keep the focus comfortably up here. So draw those shoulder blades together and softly release. Feel it all the way down to your fingertips and let all the tissues of your fingers, hands, forearms, upper arms, shoulder blades soften. We have our third one. Motor pattern again. Draw those back together. Shoulder blades meeting each other. And soften. Beautiful. And now just notice, how does your shoulder feel? Just allow it to move, let the bones move, and just think, have I let go of some of the tension that was residing there? So it's really good just to move in this way. Just notice. Beautiful. Thank you, everyone.